Every morning we wake up, we hear terrifying news headlines. Broad daylight shootings, extortions, violent home invasions, carjackings have now sadly become the norm in our country. After 10 years of the Liberals' soft-on-crime, catch-and-release policies, we have seen chaos on our streets. Bills like C75 and C5 have now broken our criminal justice system. When you have an 8-year-old Javaya laying in his mother's arms, in his own home, shot and killed by a stray bullet, the system is broken. When you have a 71-year-old grandma out buying groceries in North York, fatally stabbed and killed, the system is broken. When you have a father here in Vaughan protecting his daughter, his family, in a home invasion, and is shot and killed, we have a broken system. And when we have Bailey McCord, who was brutally murdered by her ex-partner, who was convicted just 3 hours prior and released on bail, we have a broken system. When law enforcement are telling me and our caucus every step of the way that they are seeing the same folks being arrested and released into the system, we have a broken system. And friends, that one safe country that we all knew and loved is no longer there. Repeat violent offenders are terrorizing our communities. And let me be very clear. The Liberals can't fix what they themselves broke. They have caused this chaos in our streets. And wherever our colleagues go, we hear loud and clear. Canadians are now afraid. They're afraid to live in their own communities. There's a sense of anxiety. And they're also, quite frankly, pissed off. They're angry. They're frustrated. And they have every right to be. They've been asking for changes, but have been falling on deaf ears. But that is why, when Parliament resumes next week, I will be introducing a private member's bill, the Jail Not Bail Act, which will finally end catch and release. We will protect our communities and put the rights of law-abiding Canadians and victims first, not the criminals. And before we share some of that policy from our leader, I'd like to call up some courageous warriors who have been victims of crime under this Liberal government, but have been fighting on every step of the way. So first, I'd like to call up Kate Alexander to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and a privilege to be alive. I'm Kate Alexander, actress and founder of charity End Violence Everywhere. We support survivors of intimate partner violence and sexual assault and families facing the impossible, femicide. On July 31st, 2021, I was nearly murdered by my ex-partner in Leaside in Toronto. And despite having photos, videos, and the tactical team coming to my house to rescue me, my ex was released on bail for $500 the very next day and began to stalk me, which precipitated my move to the US permanently. I have never had a criminal trial for my attempted murder because of Jordan's Rule, which was a 2016 policy implemented by Trudeau and the Supreme Court. Our justice system is beyond broken. I call it the injustice system. And I am so sick and tired of the headlines. I'm so sick and tired of serving women from all across this country. 98% of these perpetrators against these women have never, ever been to jail. 98% child rapists, murderers, sexual abusers, child pornography users, over and over and over again. We see it, it's crazy, it's insane, and this country is not what we grew up knowing it to be. As a young girl, the bad guy goes to jail. Not anymore, not in Canada. We need reform. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate, for sharing your story. I'd like to call up Christy Conran from Oxford.
Morning, everybody. I'm Christy from Woodstock, originally from Cambridge, where my brother-in-law's life was taken by a youth offender. We just absolutely need change, and we need it today. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Next up, we're going to call up Scott Weller, a victim of home invasion.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to try not to get too choked up because the trauma that my wife and I went through still triggers me today, even though it was about 3 months ago. Very powerful words happening behind me. And the fact of the matter is, my wife and I are petrified to be in our own home. I'm an average Canadian. My wife is. We work our butts off to provide for our family, and I'm petrified to even be alone in my house. All of this because it's a free-for-all for these criminals. It's a free-for-all because guess what happens? They're out the next day. That doesn't make sense to me. And I know for a fact that they arrested one of our home invaders, of which I got stabbed, and he was out the next day. That doesn't give us a sense of security. But we can end all of this, folks, by making sure that we get to the polls and we vote for the Conservatives. This is some powerful stuff. Our ignorance has to end, and we need to be better as Canadians and protect ourselves, and it starts with Pierre. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. And next up, I would like to call up Naeem Faruqi, who is the brother of Aleem, who was killed in that violent home invasion here in Vaughan. Naeem.
Thank you. I don't know what day it is of the week, but I'll tell you, the past, since August 31st, I haven't slept. I haven't been able to express fully the pain and suffering that my family is going through. I look at my nieces every day and I speak to them. I openly say I was a workaholic. I was in cruise control. I was the first person doing work late at night, early in the morning, anywhere. You can ask my clients, but you know, I've stopped because I think as Canadians, we've gone into cruise control and we've left our country to people who are truly incompetent to run it. And, you know, I just want people to recognize that this can happen to anyone. And my brother died a hero in the most noble way. He tried defending his girls and his son and his wife from a bunch of cowards who do not understand what they've done, and I hope that justice is swift. And I can't even fathom what the hell this is in terms of letting them out, people out. I never paid attention to this, but I'm listening, and I hope the rest